It's our top story today as the clock ticks closer to Friday's government shutdown. Emotions are running high in Washington. House Republican leadership proposed a short-term government funding bill last night, but House conservatives insist they have the votes to reject the plan. The focus remains on finding common ground on immigration reform. Democrats are threatening to vote no on the budget without a deal on DACA protections. Coal from the Powder River Basin will soon be on its way to Japan to fuel two new coal gasification plants in Fukushima Prefecture. Cloud Peak Energy, which operates the Spring Creek mine near Decker, Montana, will begin to ship up to 1 million tons of coal a year to Japan by the end of 2019. The coal will power two state-of-the-art coal gasification plants that will begin operation in 2020. Japan's new next-generation coal technology plants are a direct result of the Fukushima nuclear disaster back in 2011 and represent an expanding market for America's slumping coal industry.
These Japanese power plants are state-of-the-art with low emissions technology, ensuring that the coal they're burning is used responsibly. And so this is something that can be exported not only across Asia, but certainly would help the U.S. reduce emissions as well.
The Japan-bound coal will be shipped by rail to export terminals in Vancouver, British Columbia. Kurt Singer says it's too early to say if the new contract will translate into new jobs. Last year, Cloud Peak exported 4.5 million tons of coal to its Asian partners. Turning now to court news out of Wyoming. A man accused in a deadly shooting at a Sheridan apartment complex last week claims the victim threatened him first. Christopher Labai made his initial appearance in Sheridan County Circuit Court on Tuesday on one count of first-degree murder. Court documents state Labai was living with the victim, Eric Kaler. Officers responded to the scene last week Wednesday and found Kaler dead in his apartment. Labai told police Kaler was making degrading comments toward him before pulling out a gun and pointing it at Labai. When Kaler allegedly put the gun to his head, Labai says he instead pulled out his own pistol and shot Kaler in the head. At the time of his arrest, Labai was highly intoxicated with a blood alcohol content of 3%. Labai is being held at the Sheridan County Jail. Meanwhile, a crash on the Billings West End results in felony charges for a woman who was allegedly driving drunk with her kids in the car. 29-year-old Tiffany Costa made her initial appearance in Yellowstone County Justice Court Tuesday on 2 counts of child endangerment and assaulting an officer. Police were called to a 2-vehicle crash several blocks from the Rimrock Mall on Sunday. When they arrived, officers say they watched Costa struggling to stand upright. She reportedly had bloodshot eyes and her breath smelled of alcohol. Costa's children, ages 4 and 6, were not injured in the crash. She also allegedly kicked an officer in the face as she was loaded into the patrol car. The sister of a woman who was shot and injured in Belgrade is speaking out. Last week Sunday, 35-year-old Lauren DeWise was killed and 32-year-old Ashley Van Himmert was severely injured and is still in the hospital. MTN's Morgan Davies spoke with Van Himmert's sister to learn more about her and how the family has come together with hope and thankfulness that Van Himmert is still alive.
Ashley moved to Bozeman because of her love of the mountains and skiing. She combined that love with her passion for helping others.
You know, she did like the lessons for individuals with disabilities out at one of the mountains out there, and so she's just always looking for ways to give back.
Ashley is the oldest of 6, and her family was completely in shock when they learned that she was shot. But they all came together to help their sister, who has done so much for everyone else.
This is the stuff you hear about, and you just never really think it's going to happen to your family, but I would say we just all really came together, and we knew that we just kind of all hopped in a vehicle and knew we had to, be with her.
The Van Hemmerts are a very spiritual family and are just asking for continuous prayers that Ashley will pull through.
We know that she has so many prayer warriors praying for her, and we truly, truly believe that God is working a miracle through her, and there's power in prayers.
DeVries also shared that Ashley has gone through surgeries for gunshot wounds and that she also has swelling of the brain. But again, they believe that her strong, fierce personality will help her hold on to life. Reporting in the studio, Morgan Davies, MTN News.
Thank you, Morgan. Montana state prisoners are getting another chance to overcome addiction. 30 inmates are the first to be accepted into a new chemical dependency treatment program at the state prison in Deer Lodge. The secure remodeled facility provides a 90 to 180-day intensive therapy program. The center has 3 licensed addiction counselors, 3 case managers, and a reentry coordinator. Inmates will be screened using a chemical dependency evaluation. Only those with high scores indicating a need for residential treatment will be accepted. A recent report showed a 62% increase in drug-related arrests in Montana between 2009 and 2015. Continuing our coverage, the newly elected president of the Northern Cheyenne tribe says a court order to keep him from office is too little, too late. Jace Kilsback assumed his role as president for a second time with an inauguration ceremony on Monday. But on Tuesday, Kilsback received an order signed by a tribal judge stating he cannot take office until a complaint from his opponent is resolved. That complaint, filed by losing presidential candidate Donna Fisher, isn't set for a hearing until the end of the month. Kilsback says the court order comes one day too late and he is now officially president. Kilsback, who was ousted by the tribe in October for alleged misuse of funds, was reelected 88 days later earlier this month. Fisher is requesting a redo election because she claims voters should have received an extra 2 days to vote. The tribal council has not responded to our requests for comment. In other news, 1 year after the historic Women's March protest across the country, women will meet up again to stand for equal rights. Last year, about 10,000 people gathered for the march in Helena. In Montana, 8 women's marches are set throughout the state on Saturday, including one in Billings and one in Miles City. Here in Billings, the march will champion equal rights for Indigenous women in our communities. Marcy McLean, executive director of Western Native Voice, says she's inspired to see what started as a group walking together in support of Indigenous women turn into the main message of this year's event.
Elevating our voices allows us to elevate our issues that are important and are facing our communities. And it was really inspiring that the committee that was planning were so welcoming and ready to just let us be part of it, and a significant part of it, especially here in Billings, where there's a lot of racism and stuff that we as Natives have to endure in this community. So to see that, it really gives me hope for the Billings community and makes me happy to be a part of Billings.
The Billings March will start at 10 a.m. on the corner of the now vacant lot of the former Good Earth Market. Marchers will make their way down 2nd Street to North 20th Street and then head to North Park for a rally. Everyone is welcome to take part. The Billings Rims can deliver some breathtaking views of the Magic City, and now there's a pitch to enhance the experience with a new 3-mile trail. The Skyline Trail would connect Swartz Park east of the airport and extend it to Zimmerman Trail. On Tuesday night, City Council listened to the pitch on the 3-mile-long, 10-foot-wide multi-use trail atop the rims. Billings TrailNet, the group spearheading the efforts, says the Skyline Trail would cost $3.5 million. While it's a lofty goal, organizers say it would be a welcome addition to connect 2 parks.
The idea has been floated of seeing if we can have something on our water bill or something, that an opt-in for $1 from everyone, or just what kinds of creative financing can we do. We know that we've got community support. We with the membership that we've got and the evidence that we have, we know that we've got a lot of support. So I think that it will work.
Due to its cost, there is no timetable for its completion. This summer, the Montana Department of Transportation will work on reconstruction of the Zimmerman Trail, including a pedestrian underpass. Also on Tuesday night, Councilmember Ryan Sullivan served his final meeting, and a replacement for Ward 4 will be selected in 30 days.